we got Sammy Hagar at Texas Jam in 1979. We got Tom Petty in 1978, August 1st. We got Sting from the Police playing in Texas.
Oh, yeah.
Bruce Springsteen, 78. Sex Pistols, January 78. Journey, 1980. Eddie Van Halen, 1978. And that's a crowd shot in the background from the Texas Jam, 79.
Oh, cool.
And the back, turn on the back of the book, David Bowie, 78. The Cramps, Upstairs, 79, and Boomer. Jethro Tull, Sound Warehouse, in-store appearance, 79. Queen, 1977 in Texas.
Dude.
Candy Loving, Playboy's 25th anniversary Playmate.
Oh,
Holding the Jam Magazine, 1979 issue. And Pat Benatar from the Press Box, Rocklahoma, the very first one, September 6, 1980, at the football stadium at OU. Pat Benatar upstairs at the Boomer Theater, promoting our Jam magazine, with Candy Loving on the cover, December. That's her future husband right there, Neil Giraldo.
Oh, wow.
And that was their first concert, December 79, when the first album came out. And then she became a superstar years later.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, so
No, we're not professional at all. You'll find out.
Okay,
You'll find out in a second.
Oh, really? Okay, fine. All right.
So we're here with Vernon Gowdy, like Howdy, but with the G, right?
That's correct.
That's
or
right.
Sometimes Rowdy Gowdy.
Or Rowdy Gowdy. Oh, I like
Rowdy
that.
Gowdy.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
So we were fortunate enough to cross paths with you here at Rocklahoma because seems like you're like part of the cultural zygote here in Rocklahoma. You've been here have you been to all the Rocklahomas?
Yes, the first one here in Pryor was 2007.
Okay.
I've been here every year since then, 17 years. But the original Rocklahoma was September 6, 1980, in Norman, Oklahoma, at the Owen Field Stadium, the football stadium of the OU.
Oh, yeah, okay.
OU, Oklahoma University.
Vernon has written and put together this book called Notes from a Rock Photographer. And we were fortunate enough to get a signed copy from him. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And this book goes through how many years of photography of rock bands?
Well, I started taking rock bands in 1976 to the present time. So that's been about 45 years, whatever.
45
I'm
years.
69 years old. But this book here, Notes from a Rock Photographer, these are probably some of my most exciting times in the late 70s and early 80s.
Yeah.
And a lot of these performers in this book were rising superstars.
Right.
Just taking off. It's like Pat Benatar became a superstar. And Van Halen had just started in 78, 79 to become big time. And same thing with Journey, 78, 79. So a lot of these bands back then that I shot became big stars. Like Tom Petty was opening for the Kinks when I first met him, and then he became a star in his own right.
Right.
Things like that. Yeah.
Well, that's incredible, and it's funny because photography kind of has its ebbs and flows with new technology, and then it seems like it goes back into retro technology, and people, you see people walking around with Polaroids again now, and which disappeared for years, right? And they're kind of back in the top of it. But people that are into photography would really love the format of this book, because as you look through it, Vernon puts one of his pictures in there from iconic bands, iconic concerts, and then you give your notes about what you remember about the situation. Have you been collecting these as you go, or did you finally just sit down and say, hey, well, I need to write all this down and publish it?
I didn't ever, I didn't really think about putting together a collection of my notes or experiences until a few years ago. And so all of a sudden I just started thinking about, because people always ask me, I would tell them a story or two, about certain artists or whatever. And I started thinking to myself, maybe I should put together some kind of a book to share some of these stories of my experiences. Everybody has experiences. If you're a photographer, whether you're shooting sports or entertainment, you've got to have certain things happen that you can share with your friends. Some of them could be a funny story.
Yeah.
Some of them could be a lifetime experience story, whatever.
Yeah.
And back then, I was shooting film before it was digital. And so this book pretty much shows most of my work back when I was shooting negatives and film. You buy rolls of film at the store before the digital age of photography.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's incredible. And what do you think? It's 45 years. It's got to be hard to choose like your favorites. But if you were to give me what are some of the most profound experiences that you had while you did this?
All right. Well,
that's a hard question.
It is. Well, there is a few bands that stand out. In the early days, I would I was fat before when I first got into concert photography. I did a lot of time. I really liked shooting Ted Nugent in concert because he was really animated with the lead guitar. He wore a squirrel tail in the back of his, behind his pants, and so I would spend a lot of time shooting the lead guitarist. Well, then I started shooting. I really just like the basic rock and roll bands, and I would say that if I was to start picking out the highlights over the years, I would have to say this book right here, Notes from a Rock Photographer, pretty much has the main bands that I pretty much enjoyed the most. I would say on the top of my list, Pink Floyd The Wall in LA was like a magical event because that was like when the Wall album came out in 1980, and that was just an amazing concert. And I can't really. There's not really one artist. Everybody. Maybe when I was in my earlier years, I might like this kind of artist for a while.
Yeah.
And then when I get older, I might like this artist for a while.
Exactly.
And so we all have changes of music styles as we progress in age.
Yeah,
it's
for
hard,
sure.
It's hard to pick out the top people that really has an impact.
Yeah.
But I would say Tom Petty's up there pretty high, and I would say Queen, and I'd say Van Halen. And I'm just basic rock and roll fan and Journey. You know what I mean? Just the classic rock and roll.
So here's an interesting perspective. If some of these bands are still playing,
yes,
some of them are gone, they're done.
Yes.
If you were to choose one that you could shoot all over again, right? If you only had one choice to shoot all over again, who do you think that it would be?
Oh my goodness, that's tough.
That's a hard question, but I ask hard questions. That's all I do.
Oh my goodness. Well,
usually not. He's usually not a gotcha journalist.
This is gotcha journalism at its finest.
Well,
but.
okay. I think I would love to shoot Queen again because I first saw Queen.
If I had to pick one, I think I would choose.
Yeah.
Well, I first shot Queen in 76 or 77. I forgot what year. I have to look at my book. I forgot my own year. I went down to SMU University in Texas, and Thin Lizzy opened up for Queen.
Oh my gosh.
I swear.
Thin Lizzy, wow.
So anyway, I'm with my friend. We're both college students. Scott Douglas, my friend, became a doctor, but we was there. It was general admission, and I was just amazed because I bought the 8-track tape of Bohemian Rhapsody. Okay, 8-track tape.
Yeah.
Back in the old days.
Yeah.
4 channels, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, so I was a big Queen fan. I'm going there with my camera, I got my camera inside the show, before they had photo passes, really. And halfway through the show, he had this tambourine part of his show. And he threw the tambourine out in the crowd. And I'm a pretty tall guy, right?
Yeah.
So I reach up, and I should have jumped. I touched the edge of the tambourine, almost caught it. It fell right behind me.
Oh my gosh.
And 3 people behind me got the tambourine and broke it in 3 pieces.
No way.
And so I thought to myself, I could have caught.
You could have caught it, yeah.
The tambourine.
Oh my gosh. If we could go back, if he could go back, it wouldn't have anything to do with the photography. He just wants the tambourine back.
Think about what that'd be worth.
I know.
I mean, no offense, I'm not saying I'm trying to sell it.
To you, though, what it would be worth to you, right?
Exactly.
Priceless, yeah.
It's priceless, yeah, exactly.
I feel bad for making you tell the story again, but it was I don't know if you guys already covered it either, but it's one of the favorite stories we heard you tell last night when we were kind of jamming out there, but it was your story with Tom Petty, right?
Oh, yeah.
And the joint?
I've told that story many times. I don't mind sharing that story because it really is kind of cool because I was a college student at OU, University of Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. I was a staff photographer for the college paper. And my first big assignment was shooting the Sex Pistols at King's Ballroom. Well, a few months later, Tom Petty was coming to concert, opening up August 1st, 78, for the Kinks at a small venue called Civic Center, maybe 2,500 people. And so I took my girlfriend, I had set up an interview with Tom Petty. This is my first interview. I was great taking pictures, but I was nervous about it. I really wasn't an interview kind of person.
Right.
So after he got to performing, this was his very first album came out with a single American Girl on here. So we go backstage. The manager takes us backstage to a small dressing room. There's 3 folding chairs. So Tom Petty sits down. My girlfriend's on the left. I'm on the right. I have a Sears cassette tape recorder. Back then, we had to hold the microphone out and cassette tape. So I started asking these real long questions because I don't know what to ask. Because I'm asking stupid questions like, what's it like to be in a band? Dumb things like that.
Yeah,
I didn't know better. I think he knew I was kind of nervous. So Tom Petty, all of a sudden he pulls out something. He goes, "You want to smoke a joint?" I go, "What?" And I looked at my girlfriend and go, "Sure, why not? Yeah, it's cool. I'm a cool guy. I'm a college student." So he has this joint rolled up like a little wire or something. I didn't know what it was. So he lights it up. He passes it out, something like a little roach clip. So he passes it around. We're smoking a few puffs. So I'm trying to be cool. But then before I knew it, I was getting a little wasted. And so I started asking these questions, and Tom would just go, "Yeah, yeah. But Tom, what do you think about so-and-so, when you're back up the Kinks, they did this, and you open it up, and your first album, yeah, that's true, yeah." And all of a sudden, there's a knock on the door. It's Mike Campbell and the rest of the Heartbreakers for Tom Petty. "Hey, you guys done yet?" Tom Petty goes, "No, we're done. We're not done yet. Give about 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes." Okay. So I keep asking these questions for Tom. I'm still getting nervous. I had this little piece of paper. It was my little crib notes, "What do you think about so-and-so?" "I don't know. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah." And then all of a sudden, "Hey, man, y'all done yet?" "No, I'll give about 5 more minutes." So that goes on like 3 times. So after we're done, I go back to the newspaper, and I have to write a story with my girlfriend, And I play the tape, I push the button, I go, "You hear me talking?" You hear Tom Petty going, "Yeah." And I go, "We don't have a story." So we had to basically just take information from his bio press kit and just write some stuff and kind of say what Tom, we had to because Tom didn't really say anything, so we had to kind of make up a story.
Yeah.
But so that was my first interview, and I thought, is that the way everybody is? And it turns out I was wrong.
Yeah.
But that gave me so I really didn't want to become an interview person.
Yeah.
I want to stay as a photographer person. Okay, there you go.
We were so glad to run into you last night because we knew that it was going to be something awesome.
Well, since you're here at Rocklahoma, like I said, I've been going to Rocklahoma for 17 years. I didn't start Rocklahoma book, but I was hired by 2 people that started Rocklahoma, Brad White and Max Baker, and they pulled me in as a head photographer, and I hired some photographers. That's where Freddie Salazar came in. So I had like 4 photographers, and then Freddie Salazar became our partner in like 2008, 2009. So ever since then, we've been putting out the Rocklahoma book every year. And so, I mean, this is one of my favorite festivals to go to, is the outdoor 3-day music festival. And so, it's just great to be here every year.
Yeah.
And so, if you get a chance, go out there and go talk to Freddie and say hi and all your stuff.
We'll go hook up with Freddie.
And for anybody listening, or any of the Rocklahoma fans, especially the ones that are here, going to be here next year, you got to go check out these guys' booth, because like he was saying, they do the Rocklahoma book, and it's all the photography from Rocklahoma's past compiled into one book, and we were kind of flipping through them.
And if you want to order a book, you go to rocklahomabook.com.
Rocklahomabook.com.
Rocklahomabook.com, and then where can they find this book? Because this book's really...
And that one's on my site, VernonGowdy.com.
VernonGowdy.com. Okay.
Vernon Gowdy.
We'll plug it, and we'll put a graphic on the thing for that.
But yeah, or if you come to Rocklahoma, come by our booth, Rocklahoma book booth over there, across the merchandise tent, and buy a book.
Okay. Please go buy a book.
Because they are really cool.
Some of the best rock and roll shots I've ever seen, and it's like rock and roll photography is its own art.
Well, Rocklahoma is just its own vibe. There's not quite.
Yeah, there's nothing like Rocklahoma
that I've been to like it.
For sure.
It's a vibe here.
For sure. Yeah. Awesome. Thanks so much.
Hey, do me a favor. Go talk to Freddie about Rocklahoma book.
Okay.
He would be very happy if you did.
Okay.
We'll
go catch up with him.
Thank you, man.
All right.
Hey, thanks for taking the time.
so much.
Okay.